Human rights. Number 9. No unfair detainment. Meaning, no one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. China violates human right number 9. Justice system remained plagued by unfair trials and torture and other ill treatment in detention. China still classified information on its extensive use of the death penalty as a state secret. The government continued to intimidate, harass, and prosecute human rights defenders and independent NGOs, including raids on their homes. Continued. Human rights defenders' family members were subjected to police surveillance, harassment, detention, and restrictions on their freedom of movement. A new regulation, implemented this February, increased the power of law enforcement and security agencies by exempting police officers from legal responsibility for any damage they might cause to the property or interests of individuals or organizations while carrying out their duties. In 1963, Martin Luther King Jr. and others were protesting the treatment of blacks when they were unfairly arrested and jailed. People have a right to peacefully protest, but in this case, because of their skin color, their rights were violated. In this case, 2 rights were violated. No one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile, and the right to peacefully protest. The government did not take any action to help Martin or anyone else that was detained. Instead, the courts ruled that they are not allowed to protest in Birmingham. Amnesty International is a website with many documents, statements informing us what unfair detainment is, who is violating the rights, how they are doing it, and what can be done to fix it. Amnesty International tries to speak for those who can't speak for themselves, including the victims of unfair detainment, and uses this information to try and stop it from ever happening to anyone else. When people are unfairly detained nowadays, we fight for justice on social media. When so many people are posting about someone being unfairly detained, etc., the more it helps the world to see what's going on. Eventually, the important people, judges, lawyers, etc., will help to get the situation resolved so no one gets put away for something they didn't do. As of January 2020, 81% of detained people are in facilities owned and or operated by private companies. That number jumps to 91% for those who are detained in facilities that opened after 2017. For fiscal year 2021, the Trump administration has requested that taxpayers fund ICE at $4.1 billion with the intent to expand ICE's daily detention capacity to 60,000 people. People are held in conditions that are inhumane, and access to medical care is paltry, even before the pandemic. Since 2017, 39 adults have died in ICE custody or immediately after being released. Independent medical expert analysis of these deaths have found subpar care contributed to these deaths. Detained immigrants told researchers about facilities taking a week to set a broken bone, and that necessary medications such as inhalers for asthma were often not available. And that is it for human right number 9, no unfair detainment.